In a new body of water, John, what spinner, where do you begin in terms of selecting a color and a pattern?
You know, spinners are my favorite way to fish a new lake. And the reason is I can cover a lot of ground, but I can also emulate the bait fish patterns that the walleyes are already eating. And what I mean by that is, you know, we're on a body of water today where the walleyes are predominantly eating bluegills. They're up in the trees eating bluegills. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to look like a bluegill. Now, I'm not a believer that a walleye wakes up in the morning and says, I'm going to go eat me a night crawler. What I think that walleye gets up in the morning and says is, I'm going to go eat what I've been eating every single day, and if the opportunity arises, I'm going to grab whatever trips my trigger. Okay, what I believe that night crawler is on a spinner is the action. I believe that's emulating the tail of most of the bait fish. That's the movement back here. But I really believe on a spinner that where the key is in the color choices that you make. And I want to show you, this is the new Lindy spinner. And what we've done with this is we have chosen precise colors with our bead patterns to emulate bait fish. So if you look at this one, the spinner blade is made to look just like a bluegill in its primary colors. But we've chosen bead colors that are made to emulate the secondary color hues and really zone in and hone in on the idea that if they're eating a bluegill, we're going to look like a bluegill, we're going to put a crawler back there to have the action. So that's how I choose spinner colors when I come to a body of water.
Sean, lean in here and try to get a close-up of that. You can see that it does really look like a bluegill. I mean, it's got all the primary and secondary colors, and when you get that running through the water, that's going to look just like a young of the year bluegill.
Yeah, and you know, all said and done, what we did with this spinner program is there's 9 different bait fish imitating colors. So it doesn't matter where you're fishing. If it's a perch, if it's a shiner or a shad or a bluegill, whatever it may be, we've built the spinner setup that is going to precisely emulate that bait fish. That's where I start, and that's how you're going to catch more fish quicker on a new body of water.
And we were talking last night that, you know, you say these fish that are positioned in brush along a larger area of flooded timber, those fish will position in there in basically an ambush mode, and then these, you know, a spinner will, if you're placing it right, will go just outside the cover, past them, and you think that really plays a big role in getting them to leave that cover.
Well, yeah, and especially when you're talking thick cover like what we're talking today in trees and brush, because once they're in there, they're not going to come out of there just to look at things. If they're going to eat it, they're going to come rushing out and hit it. So what you want to do is you want to bring something past them that's got a lot of flash, but looks like what they're eating. Because
something they expect.
Exactly. They're expecting that to come by. They're waiting for that to come by. You bring that by them, and they end up in your boat.